Hello everyone and welcome to CryptoRed, the channel for crypto news. Today we're going to talk about Ripple, about Polygon, about a pretty huge hack that just happened. Several tens of millions of dollars were stolen. We'll also talk about Ethereum and companies that are buying Ether. We'll talk about a big crypto project that is struggling. They're laying people off. A lot of things to tell you today. Let's start with the cryptocurrency prices. We have BTC at almost $110,000, Ether at $2,600. The market is generally up today, and we'll begin with Ripple and Ripple stablecoin, the RLUSD. It just passed $500 million 7 months after launch, so that's pretty good. It's not a failure, but also not a huge success. We don't yet have an RLUSD that is rivaling the USDC and USDT, but it's not a failure with just a few tens of millions of dollars. So we'll keep an eye on what's going on with this stablecoin. It's clearly a strategy from Ripple to move towards stablecoins, even though initially they were launched well before the appearance of stablecoins more than 10 years ago. The value proposition of the XRP token back then was this instant exchange of value between banks and other entities. Even though now both coexist, the XRP and the RLUSD, we can see the strategy of Ripple trying to push the stablecoin now. Next, there is a major update coming for Polygon. The update is scheduled for July 10th, so tomorrow. It's going to improve quite a few things. It's a very big update. They say it's the biggest update since 2020 for the Polygon network. Finality will go from 90 seconds to 5 seconds, meaning the amount of time which there can be no rollback on this blockchain. Also, the block time will decrease, going from about 5 seconds to 2 seconds. That's also quite good at this stage for the Polygon blockchain, the Polygon POS. Then we're going to talk about Phantom. Honestly, it's a piece of news I find quite astounding. The integration of Phantom and Hyperliquid. Phantom is a major wallet originally designed for Solana. Since then, they've diversified. We have Phantom for Base, for Bitcoin, and for a number of other blockchains. But now they're going to offer integration with Hyperliquid for perpetual derivatives tradings in crypto. This allows leverage trading, and that's Hyperliquid's strong point. There are tons of crypto projects available on Hyperliquid with leverage, and the beauty of Hyperliquid is that it's not decentralized a lot, but it's really permissionless. Anyone can build on Hyperliquid. You can interact with the code and do integration, and that's what Phantom has done. So from the Phantom wallet, you will be able to trade with leverage very easily thanks to Hyperliquid. It also shows the power of Hyperliquid. Honestly, Hyperliquid is incredible. The community is incredible. They did an amazing airdrop and they continue to do a lot of good stuff. I know a lot of different platforms that decided to use Hyperliquid for this kind of integration. Many prefer using Hyperliquid over centralized solutions because there's no KYC, among other things. For the trading aspect as well, it's one of the few solutions that enables a simple integration, and that's why Phantom chose it. But the negative side I see here is for Solana, because Phantom is a major wallet on Solana, and in the end, the integration they choose for perpetual contracts is not on Solana. They choose Hyperliquid, and that's quite strange. It's really surprised me. They chose Hyperliquid. That showed the strength of Hyperliquid among other. And as I've said before, my view is that Solana is more in competition with Hyperliquid than with Ethereum. That's my perspective, because Solana presents itself like a kind of decentralized Nasdaq. So in a way, Hyperliquid is also trying to become a decentralized Nasdaq, a place for people to trade the spot market, the perpetual contract market, and other stuff. Yes, sure, they have also diversified with the Hyper EVM for smart contracts, but for now, it's really under the radar. And speaking of decentralized exchange that allow leverage trading, it's time to talk about the hack that just occurred. GMX, a major exchange mainly present on Arbitrum. It has $465 million of TVL. There's a bit on Avalanche and Solana, but the majority is on Arbitrum. And for now, the price of the token has dropped by 10%. They are concerned about a hack. A hack has happened. Apparently between $35 million and $40 million have been hacked from the protocol. The funds have already left the decentralized protocol. They were transferred to Ethereum, converted to Ether so as not to stay in USDC, because USDC can be frozen by Circle. And they converted then from Ether to DAI, which is a stablecoin from MakerDAO that can't be frozen also. We can clearly see that the hackers are fleeing from USDC, USDT, because they know there are blacklisting function in these tokens, so they want to stay safe and not be blocked by these entities. The question really that we have now, it's why it was only $40 million and not the full almost $500 million of TVL. In any case, what I recommend is that people who have fund in GMX simply withdraw them, because there's a risk. And when there's a risk, it's better to pull out your funds than risk having them hacked. We don't have for now more information about this hack. I'll keep you posted when I have more information about this. Also, sometimes there's why I say to be careful, because sometimes there's a hacker who exploits a vulnerability and only manage to steal a part of the funds, and then other hackers notice it and generalize the exploit and to steal more funds, to steal all the funds. So that's why I say be vigilant and withdraw what you can withdraw. Next, let's talk about EigenLayer. EigenLayer is a project I particularly liked in the last 2 years almost. I was very satisfied with the global airdrop that took place with Etherfee, for instance, EigenLayer, but the project just announced layoff of 25% of its employees. I'm talking here about the company Eigenlabs, which is behind EigenLayer. They just announced that a quarter of the staff has been laid off. That's about 30 people, 29 people. Why? Because they want to focus now on EigenCloud. By the way, that's the new name of EigenLayer. If you go to CoinGecko, you'll see that EigenLayer name is now EigenCloud. EigenCloud is basically the cloud they want to build on top of EigenLayer. There are a lot of components. There are, for instance, EigenVerify, which allows slashing. There's the availability part, EigenDA, which is the place when you can store some data for the L2s, for instance. Then there is EigenCompute, which refers more to the computing power, not storage. And through this, a lot of decentralized application can be built, and especially verifiable ones that they want to promote for now, but we don't have a real use case for now, a real apps live that people use. So will people be interested? I don't know. It's a bet, but for now they're laying people off. The TVL of EigenLayer remains quite high at almost $13 billion. It's far from the $20 billion they have reached in 2024, but it's still quite high. The market cap is almost $400 million. The fully diluted valuation is $2 billion, so it's quite high, and there are still many tokens that are going to be released. In any case, be cautious. EigenLayer, EigenCloud is laying off people. It's not doing great for now, but I think this new vision is quite good. They can build stuff on this. It's just a matter of finding the developers and finding a real use case, a killer app that's gonna be verifiable and that people will use. So what can I say more about this? For now, we just have to wait for these apps to be built. Next, there's Elon Musk. Elon Musk who made the peanut token pump. Once again, he mentioned the token in a tweet. He talks about a meme, and there's a token associated with this meme. It's called Peanut, which pumped. It's all related to the Epstein case, and all the recent news about this. The token pumped, like many others. Elon Musk pumped previously, like Shiba Inu, Dogecoin, and other stuff. Next up, SharpLink Gaming, the company whose goal is to accumulate Ether, continues to buy Ether. They just bought around $20 million worth of ETH. So now they have more than 200,000 ETH. That's huge. That represents more than $500 million of ETH. And they keep going, they keep buying, they continue to buy. This is the MicroStrategy initiated, which is now being copied by many different companies. In fact, another company called BTCS, so its share price doubled after it announced that it also planned to buy $100 million worth of ETH. They already have ETH and they're going to increase their holding. So really, many companies are announcing this. I feel like I talk about this every day because every day there are new companies starting to buy or continue to buy ETH, BTC or Solana. It's Speaking of Solana, we have the stock tokens of Solana, the X stock tokens on Solana that are migrating or moving also to the BNB chain. It has just been announced. It's the token that Kraken launched with Backed. So it's a good news for the BNB chain. We'll see now if Binance is going to integrate this later. Honestly, there have been a lot of attempts with this kind of token representing shares of companies, but it never really took off. Even back in the days of Terra Luna, there are the mirror protocols which did exactly this, but it never really was a huge success. And now there are different companies who are trying to do this, like Robinhood. I like the idea of Robinhood allowing the shares to be traded on interfaces that is centralized, but the backend is decentralized. So we'll see if it works, but I don't believe in decentralized stock being used widely in DeFi with enough liquidity. I don't know. I believe people who want to trade stock tokens are not the same people who want to trade tokens on the blockchain. Next, we'll talk about prediction markets. Let's talk about Polymarket, the major prediction market. And there's a bet on Polymarket that the president of Ukraine, Zelensky, would wear a suit by July. And the market decided that no, he would not. There were more than $200 million of bets on this market. And in fact, there was a problem with the judging. The judge decided that no, he did not wear a suit, whereas there are a lot of articles, like these BBC articles, that talk about the suit worn by Vladimir Zelensky. So I don't know, there's kind of an issue with the Oracle, the UMA protocol, which decides what is correct and what is not correct. There are whales who can manipulate the price, so be careful about this kind of bet. There can always be a decision that is not really the truth, or not what other people agree to be the truth. So that's what I wanted to tell you today about the various cryptocurrency news story. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow for more. Bye-bye.